What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my 1967 Mustang build. As you can see, we got our block back from the machine shop and it's looking great. We had the cylinders honed. We didn't need them bored, so this thing's staying at 302. The camshaft bearings are in, new freeze plugs, everything's ready to go. One of the big things that I did though on this entire thing was I got the crankshaft balanced. So whether or not you need to have a crankshaft balanced is all a question about what pieces that you're replacing. If you're doing a factory refresh, say on a 302 or even a Chevy small block, and you're just replacing pistons, you're keeping the harmonic balancer and the flywheel or the flex plate the same, you probably don't need to have it rebalanced. However, in my case, I'm moving from a flex plate to a flywheel because I'm getting a manual transmission, and the harmonic balancer is different because I needed it to be shorter and accept the 3 bolt pattern for my accessory drives for this old car. So both of those were changed, and as you can see, based on the amount of metal that they took out of this thing, it was money well spent. So went ahead and had that balanced. This entire thing should be a very, very sturdy, stable motor. I'm not looking to make huge horsepower with this thing, mainly because this car behind me, it's kind of a death trap. And 300 horsepower would be absolutely fantastic in my book. I could live with that all day long. Really what I want is the torque out of this engine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and build this long block. Next, we're going to put a little bit of assembly lube on these. That way we can go ahead and get our crankshaft. Start test fitting some of this. Just like that. Crankshaft is home. Alright, so for our next part, we're going to use the wonderful plasti gauge here to go ahead and check all of our mains and make sure they're between probably, well, I'd like to be around 2 thousandths clearance on all of these. So for those of you that haven't used these before, basically you cut off a little strip and there's a little piece of plastic in here. You put that on the crank and then go ahead and bolt down your mains. When you take it off, you measure how wide it is, and that tells you whether or not you've got enough clearance in there. So we'll go ahead and do that next. Now that we've got all those on, the next step is take them back off. So. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and go around and snug each one of these things up, 35 foot-pounds. This just ensures that all of our caps are seated properly. So if they don't go in straight, they'll give you quite a pop whenever you try to tighten these down. Alright, there's our crank. And as you can see, it still rotates nice and smoothly. Alright, so our next step is to go ahead and gap all of these rings. Now, we want to be around 20 thousandths for this engine, and luckily I've already gone through and done the first, I've already done the first 4 cylinders. And as you can see, write everything down. First 4 cylinders, all of them are between 19 and 20 thousandths ring gap, so that's pretty good. Now we're going to go ahead and we got cylinders 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we'll go ahead and ring gap those and make sure everything fits properly. So we got our first top ring here. This is cylinder 8. Kind of push it together, get into the bore, it up. Take a piston, push it down. I like to line it up all the way around with that top groove right there. And now we've got a gap at the top of this that we'll go ahead and be able to figure out. So, got my tools here, so we're going to start at 20 thousandths. Then we're going to go ahead and check up to 21. Make sure 21 doesn't catch. So 21 will not go in, so we know it's 20 thousandths. So I've got our book here. We've got cylinder 8, and that is the top ring. We're looking at 20 thousandths. Now we'll go ahead and do the bottom ring. First we're going to take this one out, squeeze it together, pull it out nice and soft. Keep the rings with the pistons, for which ones they need to go into. Then we start the process all over again.